Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Modern Warfare 2 Season 1 ended up shifting the meta a little bit, changing around some guns, and so today I wanted to break down the new top 10 best weapons and best class setups to be using in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. So starting first at number 10, I've got the brand new Victus XMR. When it comes to sniping, in MW2 MP, sniping is very, very strong. Like, all the snipers are good, and I think the Victus is now the best. Its velocity over range is insanely good. I feel like you don't have to bullet lead all that much or like account for bullet drop all that much. I've gotten like 3 hit markers ever with it, leveling it to max level. The thing is spicy here in MP. Before we get into the attachments and the tuning on this, which keep in mind, everything today is tuned for the most optimal build, so there's a little bit extra you have to put into each class setup rather than just the base attachments. But I do want to go over the secondary perks equipment here because this is the same on every single class setup, so we only have to go over this once. For my secondary, I've been using the combat knife just to get to my locations faster. If I die, I'll spawn in, pull out the combat knife, run to where I need to go, then switch back to my primary. It's MP, you get so many kills, there's so many weapons on the ground, you don't really need a secondary here, so I run that on all my setups. I'm still running the flashes. You could use stuns, you could use snaps, you could use stims. Any of those will work just fine, just preference based. Drill charge for any campers potentially in 6v6. Semtexes also work great as well. For my perks here, for my overall perk package, you guys can see perk 3 is behind the face cam there. It is quick fix, spoiler alert here. But I end up running double time and battle hardened, so obviously flashes, stuns, EMPs, all that stuff is less effective on me. Double time is going to give me that increased duration for tac sprint, which I think is huge in this game. Fast hands for the faster reload, the faster weapon swap is super nice. And then quick fix there, whenever you get a kill, you start regenning. In a game with a TTK this fast, that regen is so clutch. So that, in my opinion, is the go-to perk package for multiplayer. And then for my field upgrades, I use Field Upgrade Pro, and I use the portable radar in the munitions box. That way I can have that radar if I want, or if I need ammo, I can go ahead and grab that. That out of the way, like I said, that's the same on every class setup, so we won't focus too much on that. Again, getting into the Victus here, this thing is basically built to have the fastest ADS it can while also having good range. And like I said, the base range here is already very spicy. So first up here, I've got the 7mW laser. This will help out with that ADS speed a little bit, make it a little bit more snappy. I use the SPX 86.6 times optic. This one, in my opinion, is super clean, and I go ahead and I position it as far away as possible, so all the way on the right on that, and I tune for max ADS speed. I've seen a lot of people saying, you know, only tune for 3/4 in one direction if you want that pro. Based on what I've experienced in game, when I go into the gunsmith and I rigorously shoot a gun at a wall to see if I'm noticing any big changes, I have not really noticed a difference in most of my weapon tuning from 3/4 to 100% on that slider, right? So I go ahead and do that for the optic there. I am using the XRK Rise 50 stock. This will help out that ADS speed yet again, and I tune this for max ADS speed and also max aiming idle stability, so I have less sway when I'm aiming down sights. I got the Bruin Q900 grip on there again, better ADS speed. I tuned this one. You could honestly go again all the way max aiming idle stability and all the way down for max ADS on there as well. Then lastly, I go for the high velocity ammo, and I go ahead and I tune that for max range and velocity. This is a super clutch thing on a lot of weapons here. You can put on that high velocity ammo for the better velocity in general, but then tune the range and the velo to be even better. And I do that on a lot of guns, as you'll see throughout the video. Now at number 9, I've got the RAAL LMG, and yes, this thing basically does have the best TTK in the entire game. So you might be wondering, why is this on the lower end of the top 10? Obviously, it's in the top 10. It's still an absolute beast, but to me, just how heavy this thing is really brings it back in line with a lot of other guns. Yes, its TTK over range once you have your sights up is basically unbeatable, but you have to cater to that super passive play style of always aiming down sights. And if you're running around at this thing, chances are you are not getting your sights up first. You are going to be outmaneuvered, and people are going to be way faster than you in almost every scenario because this thing's so heavy and so bulky. So that's why it's on the lower half of the top 10. But when it comes to damage, I mean, this thing is just absolutely insane. So for my attachments here, I'm starting off with the Corona Mini Pro, your basic blue dot, and I tune this for a faster ADS speed and to be as far away as possible on the eye position. I got the Stip 40 grip on here that's going to help out with some of that control, and I go ahead and I tune this for better recoil steadiness and also better stability, so that con there of minus stability doesn't really matter all that much. I also have the Olay laser on there for that faster ADS and that faster sprint to fire to gain some mobility back in there. I go for the Demo Field Pro barrel. This is the best barrel for the range and velocity, and I go ahead and I tune this for better steadiness, then also for the max range as well. Then lastly, I got the Dune grip, which helps out with recoil steadiness, which is all general recoil basically, also some stability as well, and I tune this for better stabilization and then a little bit more for stability too. Like, I'm adapting and basically going all in on the slow build aspect of this because it's going to be a laser beam at any range. Now at number 8, I've got the SPR. This got a slight nerf to its flinch with the season 1 update. It still is a pocket shotgun and the best quick scoping gun in the game, something that is ridiculously fun to use but also wildly powerful as well, right? So here I'm embracing the full-on quick scope build. I want to be as fast and as snappy as possible, so I got the Olay laser again for that faster ADS. The fluted barrel here, I'm basically just going for that best range and velocity possible. This also does help with that movement speed a little bit compared to the Elevate, which does not do that. Then I tune this for better aim walking speed, so basically I can strafe a little bit faster, and I tune this for a slightly faster ADS. I don't want to hurt the range there too much. High velocity ammo yet again for the better range and the better velocity, so I help out a ton there. I go for the pad extension stock, and this is going to be tuned for max ADS and max stability. And then finally I got the bolt on there as well, and this is just basic rechambering speed, so that fire rate's a little bit faster as well. So this is nice and aggressive, and it'll basically one hit anywhere you're shooting. By the way, as we are going through all the classes today, if you guys are new to the channel, around 57% of viewers watching are not already subscribed, so if that's you, this is the one-stop shop for quite literally everything going on in COD. News and updates, so you're always up to date, but also the best class setups, best tips, everything to help you improve the game as well. So if you want to guarantee you never miss a video, feel free to join us on the road to 900,000 subscribers by clicking that subscribe button and turning on those post notifications. Also, if you guys enjoy this video in specific, or if you're finding it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's try and go for 3,500 likes on this one. You guys have been killing it with the support on every single video every day. I really do appreciate it. Now at number 7, I've got the Kastov 7.62, the rifle AK-47 here. Again, this one is a little bit slower, so that's why I've got it towards the lower half of the list, right? But it also brings the power, just like the RAAL. It's a little bit more agile and aggressive than the RAAL, hence why I have it higher. Its TTK, though, in terms of rifles, is the best over range. The thing is very, very spicy, and I'm playing towards its long range strengths here. So I actually have the Schlager 3.4 times optic, which is very similar to like a T-pose reticle, and I tune this one for slightly better ADS and that max eye position as well. Olay laser per usual to get that faster ADS. I go for the 584mm barrel for that better range, velocity, and control, and I go ahead and tune this for max steadiness and max range. I've also got the lock grip precision, which is an underbarrel that I really like because it helps out with recoil steadiness, which again is all basic recoil, vertical and horizontal, but then I can tune it for a faster hip walking speed. So if I'm not sprinting, I walk around a little bit faster, and I can tune it for a slightly faster ADS. A lot of the grips that you can put on for better recoil control or recoil steadiness can only be tuned for like hip fire stuff, which is just not super ideal. This is one of those that's actually a lot more convenient. Then lastly, again, I go for the high velocity rounds tuned for max range and max velocity as well. The brand new Bas-P SMG, I think this has a case for being the best SMG in the game. Its TTK is nuts. It's got next to no recoil, basically. The thing just fries. It's moving, it's grooving. It is a very fun weapon to use. So here, you'll notice I only have 4 attachments here. We'll get to that in just a second. But first up, I got the D37 rear grip for that better control. I go ahead and I tune this for the better sprint to fire and ADS. So I get a good ADS speed, good control, and a good sprint to fire out of this one attachment. Basic blue dot, same tuning as always, far eye position, best ADS speed possible. 7mm laser for that faster ADS again. I go for the Bruin Typhon that's going to help out with velocity and range. Also is built-in sound suppressed, and unlike the first Bruin barrel here, it has less cons, so that's nice and ideal. And I tune this for the best steadiness and the best damage range just to make it a little bit more versatile. The last thing I would say you could maybe mess around with here is a magazine if you wanted to, but to me 30 works pretty well. Or you could go ahead and go into ammo here, maybe do the overpressured again for that better flinch, and then tune that for max range and max velocity if you wanted to. Not necessary by any means though. Now at number 5, that halfway point, I got the RPK. This would be a little bit higher if it was a little bit faster. This is even built for a little bit more of an aggressive build with some speed in there, and it's still kind of slow compared to some of the other rifles or mid-range area weapons. But this thing also hits like a truck. It's got really, really good damage over range, low recoil. I'm really enjoying this thing in multiplayer right now. So I got the Chrono Mini Pro. Obviously, you want to tune this for that max ADS speed and go all the way out for that eye position on far. Olay laser again per usual for that faster ADS. The 40 round mag instead of the stock 75, so you're a little bit faster, you're a little bit snappier, and it doesn't hold you down and bog you down as much. Lock grip precision yet again, just like before, tuned for that better hip walking speed and ADS speed. Then the 597 barrel for the better range and velocity, tuned for better steadiness and better damage range as well. Very easy weapon to use that absolutely packs a punch. And number 4, we have the STB556, aka the rifle version of the AUG here. It got a slight nerf with the season 1 update to reduce its close range damage and its sprint to fire speed, but this thing for mid-range, which is where I'm primarily building this to be used, is still ridiculously good and very, very consistent. Now, this build here is still very speedy and aggressive and can be used in close range. It's not going to be as strong, but it's certainly efficient there nonetheless. So I got the 7mW laser for that faster ADS. Blue dot yet again on the Chrono Mini Pro, best ADS and far eye position there for that tuning. I've got the riser comb here behind the face cam, which is going to help out with that sprint to fire and ADS speed yet again. And I tuned that for better stabilization and a better ADS speed. You could also go for stability though there if you wanted to as well on that bottom slider. That's just preference based and skill level based really. I got the Q900 grip, better sprint to fire and better ADS yet again, and I tuned this one for a better sprint to fire and better recoil steadiness as well. Then lastly, I go for the high velocity, better damage range, and a little bit better velocity on there as well. Like I said, mid-range is where this thing is going to thrive, but it's nice and aggressive and fast for a rifle build. The Lachmann sub, aka the MP5, super reliable SMG here, low recoil, great mobility, great damage, and TTK as well. So it's got all the necessary boxes checked off, right? So here I'm trying to play for decent control, maybe a little bit of mid-range engagements while also keeping this nice and fast. Admittedly, I think this is a weapon you can get away with only using 4 attachments. First up, I've got the Cronus grip. This does give you better flinch resistance, but mainly what I'm focusing on is the tuning aspects here of that better sprint to fire and better recoil steadiness. And you could also tune this down for max ADS speed if you wanted to as well. That's totally preference based on what you want to do with this left slider. So just keep that in mind. 7mW laser is going to be the same as the Olay laser for that better ADS speed. I go for the 12-inch barrel. This is the slowest barrel of the 3. It's going to help out with that range and velocity and control. So I tune it for better steadiness, but also max ADS speed as well. So it's going to still be nice and snappy and fast there. Castle compensator on here, tuning this for max ADS speed and max gun kick control or recoil control basically. And those are the 4 main attachments I think you absolutely need. I went ahead and used the overpressured ammo to give more flinch on enemies. I don't think that's doing all that much, but hollow point and frangible aren't the greatest in the world, so I'm just putting those on there for the sake of it because I have that extra attachment, and I tune that for max range and max velocity to maybe get a little bit extra there, but it won't be much and won't be super noticeable in game. You can mess around with an optic if you wanted to, maybe throw on the 45 or 40 round mag rather. Totally comes down to preference there. You definitely need those first 4 on there though. Now, unfortunately, the section of the TAC 56 here at number 2 got corrupted the first time through, so we're here post-edit. Zach, just a heads up here, that's why there's no face cam on this section. But yeah, the TAC 56, the SCAR rifle thing is spicy, probably my favorite rifle in the game, I would say. And the setup here is mainly built around for like medium range essentially. You'll notice we're not using an optic. I am going for an iron sight there. You could probably swap out, let's say, like the combat grip if you wanted to for a blue dot or a red dot, whatever the case may be. But this setup I really enjoy. I got the Olay laser for that faster ADS, the Tundra barrel for the best range control velocity, tunes for max steadiness, and then also max damage range. I got the Castle compensator on here, tuned for a faster ADS, then max gun kick control. We got high velocity on there yet again, max damage range, max velocity for that tune. Then the rear grip for the better control, tuned for a slightly faster ADS and a slightly faster sprint to fire. You could also go for the aiming stability though if you wanted to. That's more preference based. But yeah, the TAC is an absolute monster. And then lastly, at number 1, I've got the Kastov 74U. This is a rifle. It really feels more like an SMG with how you play this. Its strengths for close range are just unmatched. It's a better SMG than all the other SMGs, right? Although the Bas-P has given it a run for its money. Here we are basically just focused on speed, and more speed. So we got the Olay laser, faster ADS. The B2R9 barrel is better movement speed and better ADS speed, and I tuned this for better ADS speed and better steadiness. You could go for damage range there if you wanted to, but I don't think it's necessary just because it still has those rifle properties there. I use the Havoc muzzle here, and I tune this for slightly better ADS and max gun kick control, so it'll still be easy to use. High velocity rounds for the best range and velocity possible, just in case you do get some medium range fights. Then lastly, the True Tac grip, better ADS speed, better sprint to fire. This one is tuned either for max steadiness or ADS speed. Again, you could go for either or there depending on your playstyle. And then max sprint to fire as well, so it's nice and aggressive. Very easy to use, perfect for running and gunning and just trying to absolutely fry. So that being said, those are the top 10 best weapons and best class setups here in MW2 Season 1. That's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video or if you found it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, as I mentioned earlier, every day I got you covered with all things going on between MW2, Warzone 2, and DMZ. So feel free to subscribe to guarantee you never miss a video and you're always up to date. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I will catch you guys later. Peace out.